Vivo has just made official in China the new X300 and X300 Pro with brutal cameras. True to form, the camera has revamped its high-end photographic range, betting this time on a triple alliance with MediaTek, Sony and ZEISS. In terms of performance, Vivo has decided to equip both models with the MediaTek Dimensity 90 Zen 500 processor, an interesting choice compared to Qualcomm options. Surely the Ultra model will be the one using the Qualcomm processor. This chip is accompanied by generous RAM configurations and very fast storage. The design of the devices maintains aluminum as the main material, with straight frames and fairly smooth edges, highlighting a large circular camera module on the back. Let's start with the Vivo X300. This model is designed for those looking for a more compact device with a weight of 190 grams and a thickness of 7.95 millimeters. Its display is OLED 8T of 6.31 inches with resolution of 2640 x 1216 pixels, refresh rate of 120 Hz, and support for HD. In the photographic section, we have a 50 megapixel front camera with f2.0 aperture. And on the back, we find three cameras. The main sensor is a Samsung HP8 of 200 megapixels with f1.8 aperture and optical stabilization. Then the ultra wide-angle camera with the ISOCELL JN1 sensor of 50 megapixels from Samsung with f2.0 aperture, and then the telephoto camera with the Sony Litia 602 sensor of 50 megapixels, also with f2.57 aperture and optical stabilizing. Definitely, despite being a compact cell phone, it is going to give a lot of prominence to the camera system, although the Pro model is still better. But for now, let's finish talking about this model because its battery is 6,040 milliampere hours with 90 watts fast charging and also 40 watts wireless charging. It comes with Android 16 under Origin OS 6 layer. It incorporates several new features, effectively disrupting Apple's ecosystem. This isn't just about linking an Apple Watch directly to your cell phone. It's also capable of interacting with a Mac, an iPad, and much more, making it quite versatile. It is definitely the most attractive. Although we must remember that Vivo usually manages a different software inside China than outside China, so we do not know if this kind of details will be maintained when it comes out globally. We also find 5G connectivity, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, and because it comes with IP68 and IP69 protection against water and dust. For its part, the Vivo X300 Pro ups the ante. It is larger, with 226 grams of weight and 7.9 millimeters thick. The display expands to 6.78 inches. Additionally, it includes EPO-T at 120 Hz, featuring a resolution of 2800 by 120 pixels. And it also supports HDR content. It shares the same 50 megapixel front-facing camera, Dimensity 90 Zen 500 processor, and 50 megapixel wide angle from its smaller sibling. However, the main camera is a 50 megapixel Sony Litia 828 sensor with f1.57 aperture and gimbal grade stabilization, the jewel in Vivo's crown that they've boasted for several devices. The telephoto is also different, mounting Samsung's impressive 200 megapixel HPB ISOCELL sensor, in this case with f2.67 aperture and optical stabilization. So combining a telephoto lens with an ultra high resolution sensor of Samsung's latest generation is meant to promise a brutal zoom experience despite not integrating two telephoto lenses. The battery is also larger, reaching 6,510 milliampere hours and maintaining fast charging 90 watts and wireless 40 watts. In connectivity, comes with the same formula Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 6, and has Android 16 with Origin OS 6 plus IP68 and IP69. Both models are already available in China. The Vivo X300 starts at 4,399 yuan, which would be more or less about $618 to give you an idea. The Vivo X300 Pro starts at 3,299 yuan, about $745 at the exchange rate, although remember, the prices here are not the same as over there. And naturally, you must take into account that there are models available that come with additional RAM and increased storage, which will undoubtedly be priced higher. For the moment, please share your thoughts in the comments section about whether you believe MediaTek has the potential to compete on an equal footing with Snapdragon in the high-end market. Additionally, let me know if you think these devices could potentially become the leaders in photography, each within its respective category.